So I'll never have a beard, unfortunately.
What? What do you mean?
Nah, I mean, like, so your hair, your facial hair is from like your mother's side, father's side, and that we
None of
from like
them.
the East Coast to South. Oh, we get these long whiskers and then the bush, just the lamb chops.
Just
That's
right
it.
there. Man, go on, do what they do. Spray paint that in.
I mean, if they doing weaves, man, why can't I just do one? I might do it for Halloween, just see how I fit, get the grizz. Okay.
All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to, I guess we calling it From Broke to Millions podcast today. We always got multiple names for this thing. It's life, real estate, and money, and now it's Broke to Million podcast. So whatever you want to call it, welcome. Today we got my man Stefon in the building, son, and even brought his bass guitar and trumpet, man.
Yeah, let's go.
I ain't heard a new album since you were 11, but
it's all good. Coming out, TBD.
Hey man, so look, glad to have you, man. So tell us about yourself. Where are you from?
Yeah, so hello everyone. As Mike said, I'm Stefon. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland. Growing up, it was amazing, man. I loved it. I'm currently living in Cincinnati, Ohio at the moment.
The nasty natty, man. And what are you doing, man? What's going on?
Just really working and building my portfolio, becoming a real estate investor, all right? That's my day-to-day grind. And then when I'm not doing that, I do innovation consulting. I love business. I love entrepreneurship. So I take what I've learned over the years and really try to help and empower, businesses around me.
Now, of course, over here from this podcast, we like to talk about real estate, and consulting is definitely a part of that as well. You'll be surprised when you get into marketing on how valuable that aspect is. But what made you want to do some real estate?
At first I really thought, and it kind of played out later on in life, right? I would ride with my dad. My dad was my mom and dad was able to really get out of the heart of Baltimore, right? And provide a better life. And when you're driving in Baltimore, man, it's rough. It's rough. It's rough, dog. It's rough.
Just a little bit.
People, I would go to college, people say, oh, you from Baltimore, man. You from The Wire. I was like, nah, I'm not.
Amsterdam. They talk about Amsterdam.
Man, they say, you from The Wire. I was like, nah, I'm not from The Wire. I got family in The Wire, but it's okay. We made it out. We good. But when you drive through Baltimore, there's a ton of just boarded up houses. It's a ton of boarded up houses. It's a lot of poverty there. And I just remember having moments driving in the car, and I would say, you know what, I want to come back and I want to make it better. I want to make it look better. Like I want to be proud and see that place of growth there. And then over the course of my life, I'll be my dad's right-hand man. All right, my dad, he built decks. He's the handyman, right? The Renaissance man. He would do it all. So then, as I started to get older, and I started to realize that I started to realize that it takes a ton of energy when you're putting into your 9-to-5 job, and it takes up a ton of time, right? And that is the one thing that you cannot get back. Time is so valuable. So I wanted to figure out a way, how can I still make money in my sleep and really start to pour into like my different passions and pour into my family, right? And really get back to the things that I enjoy. And that's when I found real estate, and it's been a whirlwind ever since.
Nice. Yeah, man. We were talking about this the other day, and we shared in the post, man. You saying freedom of time, and I think we shared in the post. Life is more than just paying bills and then dying. And that's great, man, that you're taking the steps to change that, to change your paradigm. So I'd love to hear about your first real estate deal. What did you do, and what are some of the things you struggled with doing that deal?
Oh my gosh, my first real estate deal. Okay.
Yeah, they say
So
the first one is the toughest.
was it, man? I feel like I was just walking in the dark. I was just walking in the dark and I had no idea what was going on. And I thought I did. I really didn't. I really had no idea. So it started with a couple of my college brothers. They were, they were buying single family. They're quite older than me, right? Buying single families and like multi-family. I was like, And then you start to hear this passive income rolling in, this word, this term, this buzzword, I would say,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Coming in. And I said, you know what? I think I can do that. I got, Baltimore in the back of my head. So what I ended up doing is I reached out to a good friend. The fastest way to learn something is to get around people who's already doing it.
That's
right?
right.
That's one thing I always learned, or I started to learn as I listened to these different podcasts. So I started really gravitating to all this information. I said, how do you do it? What are you doing, right? He said, Stefon, he rented out a duplex. I learned about house hacking. So I live in one unit and rent out the rest. So he lived in one unit and he rented out the top unit, right? He said, Stefon, listen, I did a duplex. I'm doing it wrong. Get a 4-unit, right?
Really?
He said, start with the 4-unit because you have more opportunity, right, for when there's a vacancy. Because you have to be very, very comfortable that if someone moves out, which can and will happen, like you're going to be left with the mortgage.
That's right.
Now, this was me like fresh out of college. They're not paying how they used to, or I don't know if they ever paid how they used to. So I was like, well, I can't take that mortgage. That mortgage, no, I can't do that, So I said, all right, let's do it. 4-unit. Started reading books, started reading things like Jay Morrison, listening to Bigger Pockets, right? Just started getting as much information as I possibly could. The first thing you do is you find a real estate agent. So I had someone recommend me a real estate agent. It's like, yeah, he's good. All right, so I said, all right, I choose you. This is what we're gonna do. And in that process, it was a growing process for the both of us, all right? I had no idea what I was doing. I learned that he had no idea what he was doing. And so we really had to learn it together. And I wasn't able to really articulate what I wanted. So I had to continuously revamp. So no, not this, not that. We went and we saw probably about 25 and 30 different properties. So we went to go see all these different properties, and eventually we found one, right? And in that, like, it was just, we learned so much. We found these different properties, and I had to really separate my emotion from the investment. Because since I was gonna live in it, it was like, all right, ooh, this is nice. It's Cincinnati, right? Oh, I wanna have the mountain overlook. I wanna see the city, Oh, yeah, I was in it, Let's just buy this house, 300,000, let's do it, put in an offer. All right, that wasn't it, that wasn't it. And one of the things that we also learned is that the due diligence process.
Mm-hmm.
And in that due diligence and the nuances of a contract and what needs to be in that contract. Since I was working with an agent, I couldn't really articulate what I needed to be in that due diligence process. Oh man, I was taken for a trip. We go to see the property and the listing agent was like, oh yeah, this rents for about X, Y, and Z, not understanding that was the, the ARV rents. That's what the rents are gonna look like when everything's nice and it's fixed up. And I base my numbers off that. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm getting 800 for this unit, 775 for that unit, right? And then I didn't allow enough time to review the leases, right? And I didn't allow enough time for them to have someone move out so that I could move in. All these different things, and we just kept getting hit one thing after another, right? But it's really just a part of the process. We eventually closed, right? The project was turnkey, so I could really just get in, move in, and all the tenants that were here when I started are still there.
Oh, nice. So you're living, is it a 4-family now?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's two bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms.
2 2s, 2 1s, and you live in one of the units?
Yep.
And how much did you pick it up for?
Oh, I only picked it up. It was like for 134.5.
134, 135.
Mhm.
And how much? Which one you live in? You live in a 2-bedroom or the 1-bedroom?
Yep. So I live in a 2-bedroom.
2-bedroom. What do you get for the other 2-bedroom?
We get about 800.
800. What do you get for the ones?
For the ones, we're getting 750.
Whoa, that is nice, man. So 14, 15, 2,300 a month is what you collected.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair? Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, yeah, uh-oh. Come back. There we go.
There we go.
2,300. And so how much did you have to put down?
Ooh, so I did an FHA. Oh, I love the FHA loan. I had to put 3.5% down. So what? You can do the numbers, right? Plus maybe a little extra in closing costs. I think I only went to the table about like $5,000.
$5,000. Now, it was rented before you got in there?
Mm-hmm.
So you actually got a credit back at closing?
Yeah, I
Oh,
got a credit back at closing, man. I thought it was payday. It was
so
payday,
you
man.
got, so when did you close? In the middle, at the end, at the first of the month?
Ooh, I got it at the first of the month.
Nice.
Oh,
He got all the rent.
Yeah,
so
man.
you got almost 2,300 plus deposit. So you got like almost a $3,000 credit plus taxes. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
So how much did you really bring to the table?
Nothing. I got the building for free.
money down
The building was free. I got the money back.
Oh.
It was nice. It worked out. It worked out.
House hacking at its finest. You're still there now. So what's your mortgage payment on this?
So the mortgage, so I was able to just refinance, right? I was able to just refinance. So the initial mortgage payment was $1,304.
1,304. Was that taxes and insurance?
Taxes and insurance.
And you were bringing in $2,300 a month?
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, you got to account for expenses, and you also need to account for, if anything happens.
Okay.
You got to play it safe. I know you conservative, man. I need to be conservative.
Okay, but 23, and I know you got vacancy, but you almost, if you're not, you're almost in there scot-free. Like after maintenance, and it's covering utilities as well, or yes, no? Is that it's on a boiler, or it's not on, it's individual?
So it's on a boiler, right?
Oh man, this is, well, okay, let's say that's $500-600 a month, and then the average. That was an awesome deal, man. Congrats on that. Like, that's how you do it, baby. That's how
I really attribute it to the people I had around me. Like my friend Dre, if you listen, I love Dre. Dre is my man. Dre is out here killing the game, and he put a lot in that. He put a lot of help with that.
That's nice,
appreciate
man.
That.
Well, congrats, relations on that, man. That's powerful. I mean, you like Biggie Smalls, man. No car payment, no condo payment. Like, I mean, I never forget how I felt when I first did that house hacking, but you did it even better than I did. You covered, if not all your utilities, a great deal of them. I still had to pay utilities, which was okay at the time. It was only $300 a month, but that was way better than what I would have had to pay. I would have been paying almost $800 out of pocket to live. You're doing it for $100 or less. That's impressive, man. That's a great way to build. And then you move on to your next units, and those pay the car payments or whatever the expenses. That's awesome, man. Really excited. And I heard you said you were doing based off after repair values, and you didn't really study the leases. What made you not look at the leases, or what happened there? And why is it important to look at the lease, actually?
Yeah, so it's so important to look at the leases because you want to get everything like set in stone. You need to know, right? You don't want to be in the dark on everything. Underwriting and being conservative in your underwriting is key to being a successful real estate investor. Like, I feel like you said it best when like you have to be able to you make the money when you buy the deal, right?
That's right. That is. I did them deals where you say, I'm gonna make it after You do. No. Okay. All right. So what, now that you've done a deal, and I know you're trying to move closer to full-time, what do you think are some of the qualities you feel are necessary to be a full-time investor?
So to be a full-time investor, I would say you have to have that grind. You got to be a dog. Like, you have to have that grind and continue to push, because it's an everyday grind. It is an everyday grind. And I feel like I didn't know this getting into it, because like, oh, I'm just looking for that first deal. But once you start to really understand the business of it, and when you talk about scalability, right? You have to talk about scalability. There's a lot of different pieces that you have to really pull together. And in order for you to do that, you have to do it day in and day out. It's a marathon. It's a marathon. This is not a quick game. This is not something you're gonna just get and understand just like that. So you have to be continuously learning, continuously improving, and make those steps every day. I had this Spanish class in middle school, right? And the book, and I don't know why it sticks with me. The book that we read for it was Paso a Paso, right? It's like step by step, right? And for some reason that stuck with me for this long. It's like, just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Like, you just cannot stop moving forward, because the moment you quit, that's when you lose.
Right.
So that's one quality. Another quality is you have to be able to articulate you have to be articulate enough to communicate your dream, communicate what you want to happen. Because like I mentioned, there's so many different pieces and people that you have to communicate with, right? You have your agent. Yes. Absolutely. So you have your agent, right? You have your partner. You have the contractors, right? You probably have your property manager, your leasing person. You are the orchestrator, right? There's this part in the Steve Jobs movie where he's talking to his partner and he's like, you know what? You have a good spot right there. You are first chair violinist. I'm the conductor, right? And I have to make sure that we get to the vision together. Oh, I love that movie. I love Jobs. You know, I got the book right down here, you know? And that's what you are, and that's how you have to show up when you're in this business. I think those are my top two qualities. And then the last one, the third one, is the attention to detail. So we talked about how I didn't know the rents. You know, you have to know the language. You have to be able to really dig into the numbers. But there's a caveat to that, because you have to understand your strengths. So don't try to be something you're not, all right? If your strengths are not the numbers and not the details, well, you better communicate that to your partner and say, hey, this ain't my thing, but we can do it together. I'm gonna go talk to investors, you handle the numbers.
That's great. That's great. So now you've done a smaller deal. Why are you wanting to transition into larger multifamilies now?
So the transition to larger multifamily is what? The economies of scale, all right? We are able to make more money, right? Help more people, i.e. like our investors, and really that's when you really start to get into building a business. Like, you stop playing small ball and you get into the big leagues, right? And it's time. Why do you think I'm talking to you, Mike? What's up, Mike? I'm here with you, Mike.
I'm talking big time, son.
Man, look, you got
time to go big time.
Man, I want the book with the mic. You see me? Like, I just got this right now. I ain't got the equipment just yet. I'm getting there, you know? But yeah, it's economies of scale. It's economies of scale. Why? And what I've learned, it was something when I started to really dig deeper into real estate investing, you understand that the same amount of work that you put into for a small, multifamily unit, you're gonna put into with a bigger deal. You're gonna put that. It takes that same amount of grind, that same amount of energy, the same amount of communication.
Yeah, it reminds me. I shared this story with you before, man. But I remember I was doing these smaller deals, and contractors not showing up, property managers not managing efficiently when they're supposed to. They're not leasing, all the extra stories. and then that you run into, right, as managing and operating. And then I see some associates, friends of mine are developing, doing $50 million, $100 million projects. And I walk on the job site and they're complaining that the electrician didn't show up or the plumber didn't show up, and or they're not closing on time because they didn't finish the project. And I'm like, gee whiz, they got the same issues I got with this little single family, 4-family. They doing 50, 100 million deals and got issues, but when they finish with their issue, they got an extra $1 million to $10 million in pocket. I got an extra $2.
Crazy. It's crazy, you know? And then I'm talking to you and I'm starting to get on the phone and y'all talking about $1 million like we talking about, 5 cents or $5 in my pocket. Like, all right, so we're gonna move this, we're gonna put in the offer. I'm like, oh, so this is regular. Yeah, so this is regular for y'all. This y'all every day. Okay. Hey, hello. So let's talk about this.
Hey, as we always talk about, man, ain't nothing but decimal points and commas, man. Ain't nothing, the same thing. Just move the decimal point and the comma.
Oh, well, I'm trying to move some more commas, man.
I guess you don't really move the decimal point. But yeah. It's just the commas, baby. Just the commas.
Yeah.
So, how do you plan on moving into these big deals now, man? Like, because what's pushing you to do that? Like, you just did a really successful deal on a 4-family living rent-free. I mean, why not just do that again? Why go for the big stuff?
I mean, so it's a double play, right? It's a double play. I can continue to do that, right? I can continue to do that's nothing. That's nothing. I already know how to do it. But taking those same skills, I can apply them to a bigger stage, right? So everything that I've learned, so I've also done some wholesaling in my past, right? And so understanding like how to do the house hacking, the wholesaling, all of these skills have now come together and I can use them and put them into getting those bigger deals. So what I mentioned, getting around people who know what they're doing. Oh, hello, Mike. Hello, Wayne. Hello, Mastermind. That's why we're here, right? And
I think you're reading some books. I see back in the corner. There's probably a nice book right there that he's listening. Oh my gosh! Oh, I can't believe this.
Who's this person?
Oh,
who's this man?
Oh,
man. Look, I'm trying to be on the back of the book too. Look, you got the nice profile. It's a part of the, it's all a part of the process. It's a part of the process. So it's just a continual information, right? Continuously and like pulling in information, leaning on people, building skills, right?
That's right.
And I think the biggest thing with really just embarking on this journey is that now you're just continuously building, right? You're continuously building one skill on top of the other. I remember just wholesaling and like making the phone calls, the same type of cold calling skill you have to learn. You have to learn that with investors, learn that with agents. When I'm presenting and I'm in front of these businesses, all right, and I'm saying like, hey, here's what you need to do with your brand strategy. Same skill I'm putting into with investors. So just putting all my best skills to use so I can just really just help myself, help my family, and just help the investors and the people around me, right? We pull us up together, and then I'm back in Baltimore, man. We get it together.
Man, that's very interesting. You keep talking about family and people around you, your community, because that's one of the key things is not just them, but adding value to people you're working with, people you're surrounding yourself. And when you continue to do that, that's where you can expand upon and people will continue to give to you as well. But you bring up the Baltimore, man. I like Baltimore because they got all the crab and crab legs, baby. Oh, because I got you. Ooh, start talking about crab legs. I smoke them, and I got some of that smack your mama sauce. Oh, slap your mama. Oh, you better not. You better not.
Look. Hey, see, when you come to Baltimore, right? I get you the Old Bay. I
still do the Old Bay. I still got that.
you know. But then look, this is how you really. I'm gonna take you to Baltimore, but we're gonna get you a chicken box. You know, it is a Baltimore delicacy. You know, with the salt, pepper, ketchup. You feel me? Oh man, that's the thing. That's the thing.
But one of my favorite people that I love, well, he passed away, but you're also home of Reginald Lewis, man. I haven't got an opportunity to go to that museum, but man,
Yes.
if you those don't know who Reginald Lewis is, he was a black lawyer out of New York. Yes, I have to say, why you have to say black, because he was, and it was unfair for this guy. And he wrote a book, why should they all have the fun? I can't remember. Why should all the white guys have the fun? But it was, I think that was what it's called. But it was the first time I saw a black man really achieve the $1 billion status. He was a lawyer, and he was responsible for representing people on buying businesses. And finally, he's like, man, let me buy a business, because he was going through payroll, trying to find, everybody getting paid, doing multi-million-dollar deals, and he got holes in his shoes, right? And he ended up buying a fabric company. It isn't what called fabric, but textile, yep. Took it from 12 million to 28 million, and then he did another business. But the biggest thing, he bought Beatrice, and he bought this multi-million-dollar company. It might have been $1 billion. And then he broke it up into little companies and sold them off. And but he died of brain cancer at 59, unfortunately. So we didn't get to see the true glory of him, but we did. But he lived a life for many. So when you're not focused on your next deal, and you ain't focused on crab legs in Baltimore, right? How are you spending your time, man?
I think it's really about balance, to be honest. And I feel like as I go through life, I'm learning how to balance more and more. So, I got a 5-year-old son. Oh man, he keep me busy, man. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired. Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But I love him, I love him. So it's really just spending time and pouring into him, and really just starting to branch out and really build my network. I've been really the word for this year, for 2020, was discipline, right? Because my goal was to really have my words align with my actions as best as possible. So it's really the pandemic has been crazy, but it's really allowed me the opportunity to dig into that, and to really, I'm waking up at 4:50. I'm doing my yogas, my meditations, I'm reading, and just really getting that and building habits. I listen to a lot of audiobooks. I'm reading between your book, these books, constantly reading. And then when I do have some time to have some fun, I was talking to a friend yesterday, I'm a little bit of an extremist, Really? And I'm either oh no, it's all grind work. And then no, I'm gonna jump out of a plane today, or I'm gonna, I go on ski trips with my friends. This summer, what I would like to do is I want to be a beach bum for a week. I want to go to Santa Monica, and I want to learn to surf, and I want to do it for a week.
Okay, yeah, Santa Monica, all right, man. I was that water a little cold, but no, they got nice. Man, them waves out in Cali are just ridiculous, man.
Are they? I've been to Santa Monica, but I don't be, on the beach.
Oh, no, I've been out on the beach, man. LA, Santa Monica, great places to be, but that water cold. I'm getting my I like being down south, but them waves aren't that great, man. Waves ain't like they are in California, man. Well, look, man, that's our time. Stefon, if someone wants to reach out to you, how do they do that? Where do they reach out to you?
All right, so the best place to reach out to me is on LinkedIn and Instagram. It's Stefon Towler. That's STEFON That's really on all social media platforms. If you want to talk business, feel free to check out our page at sageproperties.com. That's SAGED Properties. That's TIES at the end. Sageproperties.com. And that's the best place to reach us. hopefully I'll speak to you.
Hey, Stefon, man, thank you so much. We really appreciate you. And as we close out, God bless you, God keep you, and may God bless you beyond your belief, but not your capacity. And remember, you're one big deal away. See you next time. It's great talking to you, brother.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna push stop for recording.
Yeah.
Or pause.
Either way.